Lesson learned, don't. Essentially swap all the factory E46 stuff that would have been right here, so like our fill point expansion tank, swap it over to this side so that you see a lot more space. Then we'll just run our hose this way. So that's was the goal for today. However, I did notice one thing as I was kind of getting stuff ready. Lesson learned, don't buy cheap parts. So right here, you see the adjustable cam gears. These were, do that, God Snow brands, which essentially I guess is maybe French for China. No, seriously, you see we've advanced, looks like maybe 10 degrees on here. So you can see it's all ripped out. I never loosened these up, never touched them. You can kind of see more scoring back in there. So yeah, basically don't buy cheap parts, especially for this engine. I long ago got away from the budget build and started putting in good parts. I just hadn't really run this enough to find out that was going to break the way it did. Luckily, I've still got 2 sets of the factory cam gear, so I'm just going to throw that cam gear in first. We'll have to reset the mechanical timing again, and then it really shouldn't take that long. So I'll stop talking now. We'll get to working. I've got a ton of gas in the oil. Yeah, definitely still running rich. Super rich. Alright, so counter front out of the way. I have to relocate these oil lines. You can see that's not your typical oil color. So I'm still running super rich. That discoloration, that almost transparent look to that oil, that's just gas still stuck in the, or getting down in the oil. That's just gas getting in the oil. But I think the issue is, I'm pretty sure this is the issue, is that the base map that I have uploaded, I just got it off of the, like offline, one of the Google Drives for ECU Masters. But I'm pretty sure it's set up to run E45. E85, from my understanding, requires you to put more, or put a higher volume of it into the combustion chamber. Just my thoughts on it. Once I get the radiator put in and I can run this car for a longer period of time, I can start working on getting it tuned, and we'll see if that fixes it. If not, then we'll know it's something mechanical, and I'll have to go back in there and either pull the pistons back out and redo the rings, or at that point I'll probably just get a new block and maybe a stroker kit. We'll see. So for now, we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna address that timing issue. We're gonna pull off the belt, all that stuff, pop the pulley off. See how it goes. Alright, so this part almost never works, but I'm gonna try and hit it with the impact gun just to see if maybe today's the day I'll get lucky and it'll break free. Alright, I guess today's the day I get lucky and it'll break free. But before I get that all the way out, let me go ahead and pull the belt off. Alright, so we got everything backed off. Here's a better look of what we're dealing with. See if I can get it to focus in on there. You can see it's slid. Still line everything up. TDC, our tick marks lined up, TDC. This one still shows is lined up TDC with the rest. The issue is, if you look right here, this middle line should be over here. Now it says each mark is 2 degrees at the crank. We're looking at 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Look at 20 degrees. 20 degrees of timing thrown out. So I'm gonna finish pulling this off and then tensioner, but this one is just so new that I'm gonna go ahead and I've still got the retaining pin for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and just compress this, pop the retaining pin back in, and then we'll save this one. There we go. Let's get this retaining plate off. Alright, so here's the old cam gear. You can see a lot of cutting into it right there. Some there. Paint marks there. More there. So what that turns into, now you can see all the play. So just that bit right there, you're floating. Look, all the way back, that's 22 degrees of timing that it's floated right there. So these studs, I'm pretty sure just backed out. I don't want to just crap on the company all too much. It was put together so long ago. I don't think that I would have forgotten to tighten them down before putting them in, but I have done stuff like that in the past. So just to be safe and to avoid it altogether, I'm going to slap the new one on, and you can see we are exactly one tooth off of TDC with this cam. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the bolt back in. We'll turn it over and problem solved after that. Then it's just getting everything thrown back together. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably make the radiator a separate episode or a separate video. So part one of this is gonna be just the timing. Part two is gonna be adding in the radiator. Alright, so before we get in there, we got our marks TDC. You'll notice right here we've got one tooth to the left, or one tooth before TDC. What's going to happen is once I pull this pin, it's going to put tension on there, and as we put tension on there, we'll crank this over, and that'll give us our realignment to get us true TDC as the slack is taken up in the belt. So I'm going to do that and throw all this stuff back together. Alright, got all our timing components put back on. Once again, you can see lined up with our hump, lined up with our hump, and now our crank pulley is back on 0 for our TDC. So now I'm just going to button this back up, and then we'll move on to part 2 of the video, which is going to be actually getting the radiator in, which is what we came to do. So thanks.